Welcome back to Tomorrow Tonight, where we bring you tomorrow's news tonight. If you're just joining us, well, you may have missed a very messy debate, but now you're here. Let's cross back to Josh with the news headlines. Josh.
Thanks, Tom. Following the less than stellar reviews of the iWatch, Apple has already announced the iWatch 2. The company did not receive the revenue they expected from the original iWatch, and so have released plans for an updated version. An Apple spokesperson said, "The new model will revolutionize the way we tell time. iWatch 2 won't have 2 hands, not even 3, but 4. Please just buy it. You're going to buy it, right?" Precisely what the 4th hand does is unclear so far. However, experts presume it is used to point out the nearest sucker. A local horse racer determined to win this year's Melbourne Cup has turned to genetic engineering in order to breed the ultimate horse. Taking DNA from other prize stallions like Farlap, Protectionist, Ian Thorpe and Lance Armstrong, the racer is positive this horse will secure him victory at the Melbourne Cup. We were able to get a picture of this ultimate horse. In an interview today, Malcolm Turnbull said that announcing that this would be a year of good government was another of Tony's captain's calls. Mr Abbott later remarked that he couldn't get the idea through the Senate. A revision on the government scheme to get parents to vaccinate their children has today been announced. In an unprecedented move, the scheme has been revised based on actual scientific evidence, so it will now focus on educating parents rather than just penalising them as in the previous policy. Parents who refuse to vaccinate their children will be sent on an educational excursion to countries where immunisation is scarce to witness some deaths that would have been prevented by vaccination. And our final story for the week. After being fired from the hit TV show Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson has topped the ratings with his new show Reverse Gear. Clarkson said, "It's not as fast-paced, but I like the new direction." And that's the news of the week. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you again, Josh, for those news headlines. Now on to our final major story of the night. The CEO of the NRL, David Smith, has announced this morning that due to a multitude of reasons, such as several teams being unpopular this season and a lack of diversity in the teams, that they plan to replace and outsource the Parramatta Eels and the Penrith Panthers in order to attract a wider audience. We sent our own representative to the streets of Sydney to gauge reactions.
Well, you really said it all there, Tom. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say, but you really put the voiceover guy out of a job on this one. We'll just hand it over to our reporter in the field then.
We're here in the heart of Parramatta to get people's opinion on their beloved team, Parramatta Eels, getting scrapped. This morning, David Smith, the CEO of the NRL, has announced that they plan to scrap the teams Parramatta Eels and Penrith Panthers due to their poor performance this season. And they plan to outsource the teams and bring a more diverse lineup by taking teams from overseas. What's your opinion on the matter?
I think outsourcing's f***ing shit.
Yeah?
I think it's stupid.
Getting rid of the Eels, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I think it's a dickhead.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, they shouldn't do it.
They shouldn't do it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you, how come?
Parramatta been by our team all their lives, isn't it?
Yep. So, yeah.
Surely that's a joke. Surely.
No, it was just announced this morning by David Smith.
It's pretty shit, really.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
It's pretty disgusting, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know. Diversity doesn't sound too bad.
That's true.
Like,
you know,
as long as there's still, people
exactly
represented from
exactly.
that
I mean,
area.
we still have the New Zealand team. I'm like, why are they now competition? So I mean, bring in other countries. I know they're looking at Bangladesh and Ghana to try and bring in their all-star teams to bring into our competition.
I guess that'd be a good opportunity from them as well.
Exactly. We got some mock-ups of the jerseys if you want to have a look, but so we've got the Ghana Bees and the Bangladesh Bulls to possibly replace the Parramatta Eels. I believe his quote was that due to the poor performance of the team this year, that they wanted to bring a more diverse lineup to the NRL team.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do they actually have teams?
Well, they do. Yeah, they're bringing them over, and
really?
they want to bring a more racially diverse NRL team rather than having white Australia and obviously New Zealand.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So actually replacing Parramatta.
Yeah, well, they're kind of they're not doing too well. Let's be honest.
No,
and so yeah, they're basically replacing them. They're thinking maybe Ghana Bees or something similar. Bring an all-star team from a different country over.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Exactly, get rid of them. Like, we don't need them.
As some people slipped into depression after their favourite teams were canned from the series, other people danced in the street because they're excited to see what the new teams would bring.
Yeah.
There's no point in removing teams that are already there.
Yeah,
Why not
exactly.
just make new
So
ones?
even if poor performance, you strongly believe that they should let them have another season and have another go at it before we kind of scrap them. Yeah.
Well, everyone has poor performances
exactly,
every now and then, and then they just recruit new people into those teams. No point in scrapping them altogether.
To be honest, like Australian teams should remain. Like it opens up like more opportunities for Australian players to play. Whereas if you bring in international players over, it would limit Australian football to Australian players.
That's fair enough. What would your opinion be if David Smith changed his decision so that the current teams would stay the same, but they would still bring over the outsourced teams?
That's fantastic. More teams, more competition.
Fair enough.
Opinions
please.
We've supported Parramatta all this time, and why should David Smith, isn't he a pommy? Shouldn't he bloody go back to England and leave our teams alone?
Exactly. Well, that's fair enough.
Leave our team alone. There's such support for Parramatta here and Penrith. Just leave us alone.
Fair enough.
Wow, what an eye-opener.
You can get people to say anything on TV. Anything.
Alrighty then. So guys, what's your opinions of the new teams? Josh?
I think outsourcing is good in general. It works well in business, so why wouldn't it work well in sport? You don't have to pay people as much. You have more diversity. You know, we could outsource some management maybe, and maybe they might make better decisions, hire better refs. Got a larger pool to choose from.
Okay. Caitlin?
I just feel like, is this going to become the IRL, you know, the International Rugby League? It is the National Rugby League. So if we introduce these international teams, are we going to have to change the nature of the game and, you know, the good things that make it Australian?
That's definitely something to think about. And Andrea?
Well, I think the industry is maybe getting a bit dull, and maybe they could use some diversity in there to help them out. And the Bangladesh Bulls would sound great to be in the team, as well as the Ghana Bees are gonna be great.
Well, thank you for your thoughts, guys. I myself am looking forward to the introduction of the Bolivian Bobcats. That's all we have time for tonight. I'm not sure where these people came from, but I'd like to thank Caitlin Charles and Andrea Matute for being here tonight, as well as our wonderful news anchor, Josh Walter. From all of us here at Tomorrow Tonight, we hope you join us next week when we bring you the news of tomorrow tonight.